I'm Evie.
I'm Troy.
I'm Hazel.
In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products?
Our movie would compete with films like Kick-Ass and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World because they are all action comedies and they all involve geeky people trying to be superheroes. We used similar conventions to Scott Pilgrim and Kick-Ass so that our audience could still familiarise with the character.
Our film is like Kick-Ass's character, as he is delusional and thinks he's actually being really good being a superhero when he's not. He's also similar to Scott Pilgrim, as it's the same type of character. Our character is similar to that of Johnny English, as he thinks he's really cool, clever and everyone likes him, when he's actually a bit wacky and that everything he tries to do doesn't actually work, similar to how we want our character to be like.
Our film is like Scott Pilgrim and Kick-Ass. This is because they use a voiceover also, which makes the character and the genre seem quite serious. And then when you meet the character, the genre is quite contrasting because it's comedy. In the editing, we tried to follow the styles of these two films in the stop-start quick editing. To fit this in, we timed our shots to fit in with the music Eye of the Tiger.
How does your media product represent particular social groups?
Our target audience is the same as our social group representation, although it may attract some other audiences. We dressed our main character in tacky superhero clothing, and this immediately starts to mock him and show that it's a comedy, and this also helps put forward our genre.
In our film, we have represented a large teenage population, as we felt some of the jokes or humour may be a bit too immature for adults to enjoy and a bit too complicated or complex for young children to get, so therefore we have aimed our movie at a teenage audience.
Although our target audience may stereotypically be geeky comic book fans, we also thought that people might take the mick out of the main character, which might attract them more. Also, with our opening sequence, we've kind of followed trends that are similar to Kick-Ass and Scott Pilgrim.
What kind of media institution might distribute your media product and why?
We have used Texas Film Studios and In Your Face Productions as our institutions. Texas Film Studios being the larger company and would be on the same level as probably MTV Films.
We've used these because our film's quite a low budget film and it wouldn't be suitable to use a higher institution like 20th Century Fox. We've also decided on this because our target audience is quite small.
As our target audience is quite small and we have a low budget, we would release straight onto DVD, as from recent polls we have found that our target audience often can't afford to go to the cinema because it costs too much money nowadays and they don't earn enough money, or the fact that they prefer to sit at home in their own company or their friend's company to watch a movie, and therefore we release it straight onto DVD, as we would be more likely to get more buys and watches from that, and it would get around. Who would be the audience for your media product?
Our target audience is teenagers who would watch programmes like Skins and Family Guy, and also someone who would like to watch movies as a group with their friends. It's also rated a certificate 12. This is because some of the themes within our movie aren't suitable for younger children.
Our movie would be also rated as a 12, as at the beginning of the movie there is a bit of nudity, not much but enough to make it not suitable for a PG. Another reason our movie is set at 12 is because our character is a bit silly and a bit of an idiot. And some of the stuff he does in the movie provokes abuse on him, and this abuse is not acceptable for a PG, and some people may find it offensive or not want their kids to hear it. So therefore we've rated 12 so we can reach our target audience.
We could have raised our rating to a 15, so we could add in more bad language and nudity, and this would appeal to our target audience. By about having it at a 12 audience, so we can gain a wider audience, and it wouldn't make that much difference to a film with the extra bad language.
How did you attract / address your audience?
To attract our audience, we tried to create a character with a similar age to our target audience. We also gave him a nerd stereotype and made him a self-claimed superhero. The genre is comedy, action, which could appeal to both male and female audiences, and the idea of the film is to make fun of Hubert, aka Kapow.
Our audience can resemble to our main character because they are of a similar age. The tone of our film will also appeal, and the fact it is a parody of typical superhero movies. Teens will understand the type of humour we've used in our movie, however, adults may not.
To attract our audience, we have used a similar style to Napoleon Dynamite, where the movie is a bit quirky, a bit weird, a bit strange, but it's rather laughing at the character than laughing with the character, and therefore that style should attract a wider range of audience and attract them to watch our amazing movie. What have you learned about technologies from the process of constructing this product?
We learnt how important continuity was, as we made a few continuity errors and had to refilm due to this. We also found that copyright would have been a problem, however, we figured out how to contact the owners so we could use the soundtrack Eye of the Tiger.
From technology, we have found that without it, it would be a lot harder to create a movie like in the olden days, as with technology nowadays it has made the editing and the filming of the movie a lot more quicker and a lot more smoother without having to go through all the reels, etc. So with this new technology, it has made movies a lot more easier to make and to make them look good.
We tried to make our film seem a higher budget. To do this, we used HD cameras to give it a more professional look. We also used a voice recorder to add voiceovers and used music in the background.
Looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you've learned in the progression from it to the full product? From the preliminary task, I have found that shooting the shots and the film in a proper location rather than just college makes the movie look a lot better and makes the movie look more professional and like a real movie. Whereas in the preliminary task, when we shot it around the college, it made it look tacky and like just like a couple of students running around. Also, from the preliminary task, we've learned about shots, about all the different shots that make the movie look more professional and make it look a lot better than just having a few shots in. So a variety of shots makes the movie look a lot better.
Within the progression from this, I've learnt how important storyboards can be to help follow the storyline, although with our final cut we didn't follow it strictly and made new scenes. Also, I've learnt how camera angles and camera shots can portray a character, the mood and the genre of the filming.
From the preliminary task, we learnt that match on action would be good to use as Kapow Man leaves his house, so we used this as he exits his front door. We also left more of a gap before and after each shot so that it was easy when we were editing, as in the preliminary task we found it was quite jumpy.